Hi everyone, it's T with Teaquilts, and today is Saturday, October 15th, 2022. It is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here for live sew and chat. I fully intended to be working on bow cozies, and I still might because we got 2 hours. But I wanted to share some material that I got from a friend out of her stash and talk to you about that a little bit. And yeah, I'm going to see who's in chat. I'm going to pull you all up, and then we will have a great time as usual, right? So let's see who's here. I should already have all these notifications off from earlier today. And this is the first time I pulled up YouTube, and it's got me as a recommendation for myself. I normally have to search for it. So that's good. And I just put this notification out about 10 minutes ago, if that. So people are going to be trickling in late. I just assume that everybody knows that I'm going to go live Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless I say I'm not. So hopefully people will come into the chat as well. So I am going to actually cut my recording off because I don't need it. And we've got Delia Short here. Hey, Delia. And Beb Dixon says, hello, T&O Quilters. 2 hauls in one day. Woohoo! This time, I didn't spend money technically. I did not spend money. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Deborah Holloway says, good evening, TNT Quilters. And Judy Smith's here. Hey, T and all. Katie Crafts saying hi. Vivian Calvi saying hi as well. Sin Forrest. Reminding people also to hit the thumbs up button. So thank you, Sin. Angela Stringer says, hi, TNT folks. Just got through eating a nice dinner of homemade chili. I can't wait to start back making soups. I'm about out of all of my soups, and chili is one of those things that I tend to make in the winter months. So I'm looking forward to that. I also want to try to see if I can freeze white chicken chili. I haven't tried that one yet for freezing. So I like that too. I like white chicken chili as well. Liz Wilson is here. Hey, Liz. Like that says hello, Mrs. T and all T Quilters. And yes. So people are going to be trickling in. I did not intend to get any fabric, any more fabric, like this week. But I always say, well, look at God. And sometimes that's exactly what I mean. It's not a joke or anything. But it's like I have my 98-year-old quilter. She contacted me because she heard that I had wanted a FOF. Well, she knew that I wanted a FOF and a Janome. I told her I had always wanted old models of those machines. And so she called me a couple weeks ago and said that she needed to have 2 baby quilts completed. And her sight is so bad. And that I told you she used to be a master quilter, and now it's hard for her to even see seam intersections and things like that. So she still quilts. She mostly crochets. She does that much better because she can get up close to it. And so she called me a couple weeks ago asking me if I could quilt 2 baby quilts for her, and then she would, in trade, she would give me this Janome sewing machine. And I said, yes, that'll be fine. And she she said, well, she had put about $200 in it before she gave it to her daughter, and her daughter also passed in the past year. And so she got the machine back when her daughter passed. So she was saying, she know it's not enough for the work that I'm going to do. But I was like, don't worry about it, because I was just happy to have an older model FOF. And I'll show you that after I show you all this fabric and stuff that I got. But anyway, she was insistent. I went to go pick up the quilt, and I wasn't expecting to get anything at this point. So I went to go pick up 2 quilts. She only has 1 quilt ready. And and it's not even ready. It doesn't even have the final border on it. And she was like, just charge me, make me a bill. And if it's more than what the machine is, I pay. I said, it doesn't really matter. It's just a few more seams. Um, yeah, so we did that. And then she says, oh, I have a couple pieces of fabric. So she has some fabric in a basket and she asked me to look through it and see if I wanted anything. I looked through it. I took about 2 pieces. And then I said, that's great. And the reason why she's doing this also is that she's moving. She has decided that it's time for her to give up her home. And I asked her, it's her choice what she's doing, but I asked her, was it her decision or somebody else's? And then she said it was her decision. So I was glad about that. And I'm not going to go into that. We talked about that a little bit about mental health of geriatrics in my live today with Kevin. So if you're interested in that, you can go back and look at that. But I was glad that her response was that this was her idea. And so she's actually moving out of the state. So yeah, she said that she wanted me to, get a few pieces of her fabric. So I was still, it's kind of hard to take somebody's fabric, first of all, when they're sitting there. Number two, when they're not really going to stop doing all their quilting. So I asked her the question as I'm pulling pieces from her stash that she insists that I go through. I'm like, I'm gonna give you stacks of fabric because she had not even gone through the fabric to know what it was that she wanted to keep. Now, out of all this fabric I'm about to show you, I'm not even gonna resalvages because you ain't gonna find this stuff. It's old. She's 98 years old. She has not bought fabric, I bet, in 20 years. And unless it's like a cuddle, Mickey cuddle for the back of a quilt or something like that. So, um, yeah, um, I think she just wanted me to have something. So I'm going to try to keep her fabric separated for a bit and see if I can make at least something out of it that I can say that it came from her. And we're going to go from there and see how I can handle this. But let me check and see who else is in here just so I can welcome everybody. um, um, Hold on. I got to go back far. It's a lot of messages came in here. Goodness gracious. Deborah says she's looking forward to making potato soup again. That's one of my favorite. Betsy is here saying, hello, Miss T and all T quilters. Cynthia says, hi, T. You and Kevin had me in stitches. That was our live chat earlier today. We try not to cut up too much today. Kevin the quilter is here, says sitting with mom and dad. Will be in and out of chat. Enjoy the evening, Miss T and all T quilters. He's got some pretty nice parents. Shirley Peters is here saying good evening to everyone. Brenda Foley, Sandy Agger. Let's see. Rich Rutley is here. Shirley Peters. Irish Sail Lady says, good evening. Just got back from an anniversary dinner with hubby. Now relaxing with a cup of coffee. So happy anniversary. Rich says, T, I love your disclaimer. Right. I want to hear it. Hi, T and all quilters. Hope you are having a great weekend. Give T your thumbs up. That's from Darcy. Thank you, Darcy. Welcome to the chat. Sin Forest is here. Let's see. How is the lady who put the needle in her finger? She was in the chat earlier today, said she was doing well. What I realized this time, and I must have missed it last time, was that she was sewing on that Singer 9960. I think the number is the one that I've told you all I have, and it sews backwards sometimes. So yeah, she said she did. It took her a couple hours to figure out why it was doing that, and she was able to fix it. So I'm supposed to be contacting her eventually so she can tell me what she did, because she says she can't even type what she did. She needs to show it to me. Sue GSD. Hello, my friends. Hope all is well with you. Saw the first half of today's live at Kevin's and truly enjoyed it. So that's awesome. Marilyn Keene says, hi for the first time from New Zealand. Lovely Sunday afternoon here and looking forward to See your new fabric. They're new to me fabrics. And they're new to me. Claudette Bettis is here. And Jason Lewis is here. Delois Phelps. And Darcy is telling Marilyn, give Tia a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. We have fun here. Yes, we do. For new people coming in, we do answer questions. So if you have a question or you're stuck on something quilt related, don't have anybody you can ask, you can always pop that type of thing in here. We try to help when we can. Teresa McCormick's here. Wash Your Hands is here. Says she's making gumbo. Woohoo! And today is her birthday. Yes, we read off the birthdays and said it was your birthday today. Earlier today, we did the birthday draw because I was late for the month of October. And tomorrow, Liz is making chicken and rice. May not stay for the whole live. Re-injured knee. Oh my gosh. I hope you feel better, Sin. That's terrible. My knee hurts off and on, but I think by now they may can find something because it's hurting a little bit more than it has been in the past. Kevin is talking to Teresa McCormick. Said, I got your package late this afternoon. Thank you so much. You are way too kind. People are saying happy birthday to Wash Your Hands. I did get blocks in the mail today, Brenda. I posted in the optional block group that they came in. May we see the sewing machine? You will. T, I'll have to view the video. Okay, so have fun. Wish I knew how to. Oh, she's still staying. She's talking about the video earlier today where I did the draw. I don't think you won, Teresa. I think it was Anita Baker, something like that. But anyway, I got this bag up here from Trader Joe's. I do want y'all to know that I did come home and find my corn blocks, so I have to lay that out. I will not be sewing on this tonight because I didn't even take it out the bag to press. When I came home, I'm just kind of exhausted from the drive, from sewing, and knowing that I got to go live again. Saturday, when whatever couple of hours that I have in between Kevin's house and the live, I just kind of sit and chill. I make sure I eat something before I go live, so I have my patience. I'm not hangry, and I just chill on Saturdays after doing that. It's a lot, so Liz, you just send me an email. Anybody that wants to be added to the birthday list, you just need to send me an email, Teaquilts, right here at teaquilts.com, and just put in the subject that it's birthday, and just put in the thing whatever your birthday is, and then I'll add you to the list. You don't have to wait any particular time. Tanya Hawkinsmith's here saying happy birthday as well. 4 tears in her knee. Oh my gosh. Plus a cramp. And puts a cramp in her style. I guess so. Deb S says, happy to catch you live. Hey, Deb. Welcome. Let me see. I think that's it. So let's just start going through some of this stuff. Now, one of the things this lady know, y'all see this right here, Scrap Queen. I hardly ever throw anything away. She keeps like a container of stuff. And remember, I've told you all that I keep my extra little stack and whack blocks. Well, these are not even stack and whack, but they're the same hexagon type shapes. And so she had those. She has 60-degree triangles that were part of some stack and whack projects. She's got various different stack and whack projects. And I remember when she made this one, she actually won first place at the quilt show with this. And then here are some big blocks that she didn't use in this stack and whack. So she basically just had this container of extra pieces that were mostly stack and whack pieces. So I just took that. Again, she was insistent on some of this stuff. Now this bag here, I'm just going to dump it, and I'm not going to really, well, most of it, yeah. Well, most of it. And I'm not even going to go into all of this fabric on the top. And I don't even know where it stops for real, because I'm going to end up taking all of this other stuff out. So let me pull this over. This right here is a project. She was a very artistic person. Like, she didn't do just a regular Borgello. She would do where she'd have she's got these colors where she's got sky water. She was doing like a landscape type thing with the Borgello. And she just had all of this that was sitting at the floor of her design wall. And she was just saying, she said, Teajuana, just pick all of that up and take it. Whether you make this project or not, it's fine. And then this was part of it that was, more toward the bottom. So she was very artistic. And then she had all of this fabric here that was at the bottom. And she just said, just take it, because I know I'm not going to do that. And I don't even care what's down there. So it's a lot of yardage in here, though. So other than Borgello, she had other fabrics that she was pulling out, because she was going to kind of do like a collage on top of the Borgello. And so she had all of these different fabrics. This fabric here is a piece of variegated. Now I say variegated. It's I don't know what you call it when it go from one color to the next. I'm blocking. I'm gonna give it a thread name. But see if they got a name on here. They don't. Like what it's called. But you all know, you've seen these type of things before. But a lot of this fabric was just in this collection for possible use in a Borgello. Now, I would probably not be doing a Borgello. I would probably just take these pieces and incorporate them some kind of way into something else. But I seriously doubt if I'm going to try to figure out how to use all of this to make a Borgello. And this one, I'm thinking, must have just failed or was in some fabric, because it doesn't even go with the regular fabrics here. Little floral print. But all pretty fabrics. Ombre. Thank you, Deborah Holloway, and whoever else said ombre. That's the first one I saw. I know it's been up there before. And so these are just more of the fabrics. I'm just showing you all these fabrics that I got, and I'm taking these out because I'm not going to be doing this Borgello. Here's another piece of the Borgello. Y'all know I do strings and crumb quilts, and so this is where this stuff right here is going to go. Because I have no idea what she was planning. You can't come in something that's been started already and trying to figure out what it was that they were trying to do. And if I was going to do a Borgello, it's a lot of work. So I would want to pick my own fabrics and have my own vision for what I'm doing. And so all of these pieces she had trimmed off. These pieces here. So all of this would just go into strings and crumbs. So yeah. Along with all of this. Okay. So, and I even got a container here with current strings and crumb projects, and I'm just going, it's already stuffed, but I'm going to stuff this in here too. And I think that's, well, it's a few more pieces here of some piecing. I'm going to put that in here. So when I get ready to make my next blocks, I'm ready to go. I got some pieces that I can incorporate to give it a little bit more interest. So still in this same bundle of stuff I picked up off the floor that I did last. This was the last thing that she told me to do, okay? And you know what? I come from the generation where mostly when somebody elder tell you to do something, you just do it. That's how I was raised. That's kind of what I do. It had nothing to do with me needing fabric, because when she first took me to her stash, I was like, I'll just pick a few pieces, because I didn't really want to go into her stuff like that. And then I went through, she told me to go through batiks first because she knew I like batiks. So I go through the batiks, and then she says, you like brights, because red and blacks were next to it. She knew I was getting black prints as well. And so she told me to go through that. I took a couple of pieces out the black. Then she comes back and she says, I said, I'm done. She says, but you haven't looked over here behind me. So she had blues and greens and I don't know what other colors were behind her, florals, all that. She was trying to give me pansies. I'm like, I don't really want any more flowers. I'm trying to get rid of flowers. So basically I just went through stacks, and then everything that I got, I put it in her lap and told her, because she had not gone through her own stash to see what she wanted to keep and what she wanted to give away. And she kind of knows like what her final quilts are going to be. And so I wanted her to look through. So when I show you all of this stuff, she only took about 3 or 4 pieces that I actually pulled from her stash. And then she went and pulled some other stuff, silks that she had dyed, ultra suede scraps. That's a whole nother thing. I'm going to need this container back. We don't want to lose that because I'm going to end up putting those little small ultra suede pieces in there when I get to those. Dorsey's saying she wants to try Bocello, but I'm a little nervous. It's not a bad thing to do. It's like if you get more complicated patterns, which is what she was working on, then, you know, it can be cumbersome that way. But a basic Bocello is a very easy quilt to make because you're just basically doing strip sets and cutting them into different widths. And Remo says, I was raised the same way. And the funny thing is, when I went to go pick up her quilt, I went right before I was supposed to be at line dance class. I left her house. Line dance class is 2 hours. I left her house with 15 minutes of line dance class left, and it would have taken me 10 minutes to get there. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going home, you know. But I had a great conversation with her. You know, you gotta be flexible sometimes when you're, you know, dealing with friends in general, but also when somebody has been on here, and if they just want to talk, she probably don't have as many visitors. She does have visitors, but she doesn't have as many. So you just kind of like just say, hey, if this is where I'm supposed to be today, this is where I'm supposed to be. I don't get wrapped up in that, especially if I'm not somewhere where I'm supposed to be, like picking up somebody else's quilt, then I would have told her that. But I just let it go. Bev says, what's the difference between string, crumb, and crazy quilts? String quilts are mostly straight pieces. Crumb quilts or anything that you have left over, you just sewing waist together, making a bigger piece of fabric. No matter what seams are there, you're just chopping off and adding another piece that will cross over previous lines. And I'm not going to pull that back out. But I have plenty of videos on how to make string blocks as well as how to make crazy quilt blocks. And I show you different ways in one of my crazy quilt blocks of how to do crazy quilt blocks where you can do, you can use a strip and make it go a little bit faster. I don't tend to do that much because I like my blocks to look scrappy. So, but that is a technique that you can do. It's called mile a minute. So, other things that I got. So we're going to keep going because we're going to be here for a while if I don't. This one she handed to me because it was elephants and she knew that I had made a red elephant quilt and she knew I would like that. I did pick this one because it's Laura Birch, and it's some other Laura Birch in here somewhere as well. Look, she even had a black print with color, y'all. Now, you know I took that one. And she didn't want anything that was black in the background. She just didn't want it at all. So this is a piece of batiks here. Exactly, Remo. We're not promised tomorrow. The universe has a way of putting us exactly where we need to be. Exactly. And even when she was talking, because I had told her earlier that I had to go somewhere, but I had a feeling that I don't know if it was just loneliness or she just needed to talk to somebody. And her family was coming in today because they were going to start packing up some of her stuff. She's not moving until January. So she's going to have family Christmas, I think, one last time at her home for the family, and then that's when she's moving. But they came to pack up stuff, and so she wanted me to get something before they pack this up. So this is another batik. I like this. Here's another piece of the black that I got. Has purple, like lilac stars. And I was getting fabrics that were different for me that I didn't have in my stash. And y'all know anything with music I tend to get. So here's a piece that's a music print. Thank you, Darcy says, if you're just getting in, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Yes, she is very generous. And like I said, this is just a one bag. I got a whole nother bag. So what I was doing was getting more pieces that I might be using when I'm doing blocks and dealing with color. Not necessarily going to be using white. So this is a lot of fabric here. And there's no, like I said, no reason for me to be reading salvages because it's just not going to be available. She has not bought fabric in years. This is all black pieces. This is a navy blue. I don't know how this one got in here. She must have put that in there herself. She was actually putting stuff in. I do remember getting this just because it was black with color again. And then we've got a black with white dots. You can always use that. This I got again because I was getting more artistic pieces. I hardly ever use white fabric in anything, and solids. I don't like working with solids. That's from So Terry. I do use them, and I do use white, but it's not something that I pull all the time. Sometimes when I just want a quilt to be pure white to a pure clean, like when I used it on the knot today, I had all those different florals, and I just went ahead and did it. Here's another piece of color that I didn't have with the black and just circles overlapping continuously, like lots of overlapping circles. Just very weird piece. And I never did figure out, let me see if I can figure out this screensaver here. Go to settings. Because it comes on too fast. My display. Screensavers at the bottom. I have none. So that's weird because it show comes on. It says I have none, but that's not correct. Home screen. Show app screen button. Yep, see, this is why I don't like phones. How do I not have a screensaver when it's definitely coming up? So I don't know. I have to figure it out, guys. I'm sorry. I was trying to make it so I wouldn't, because every time I touch it, that's when I'm putting people accidentally in timeout. Here's a piece that, like I said, I think she put this in here. This is navy blue and white. Hey, Kayla. Joyce Baker says, I have several of these prints. Yeah, they are. And this one, I really like it. I collect sometimes the Paisleys. I've been collecting fabrics, haven't done anything with them. I think I have enough Paisleys now to start figuring out what I want to do with them. And then again, like I said, I was getting more artistic prints that I could use in some different techniques. And guess what, y'all? And this is not the only one. She had fossil ferns. So that was pretty cool. And this is one of the hand dyes. I'm pulling this out separate, but she had done some hand dyeing. So I'll pull this one out. This is another Laura Birch. It's just got little text going through it. And then this is the same as a piece that was more blue dominated. It's green, kind of teal in color. All right, so that's this stack. Ugh. This much fabric, y'all. Plus what I've already shown you, okay? She was just determined that I was going to take fabric, and I'm trying not to take a whole lot of fabric because it's not like I really need anything. So temporarily, I'm going to leave all of the fabric I got from her that I don't plan to use elsewhere, and see if I can maybe just make a quilt out of it. So again, buying artistic type pieces that you can fussy cut and use in various different ways. I love paisleys. It's my favorite print. Joe Carmel's here, says you were a blessing to her and she wanted to bless you. Definitely a sign of good friend. Yes. I'm so sad she's going to be moving because she was kind of confusing me because I thought she was going to be moving 4 hours away. Because I specifically asked her about another town with the same name. This is another one of her dyed pieces. And look at this. So I'm pulling out like certain pieces because I don't want them mixed in. I store them differently. And I wouldn't use them in an all fabric quilt like that. This one here is very pretty. Again, I'm buying prints that can be more artistic type prints. Again, you know, I just bought some fabric that was very similar to this, had one of those blues that had a lot of different blues going on. So I was very selective. I didn't hardly get a lot of texture, like different color changes. And I see she still snuck one of them paisley pieces in here anyway. Like I said, I put everything in her lap. And then she proceeded to put in, you know, she didn't put them in the bags. We had like a big basket there. And see, we got one of these paisley prints and I don't want it. So I'm going to give it away. This rose is really pretty. And then I love this piece. I've had this fabric in different colors and didn't know it came in this beautiful color. That is just gorgeous. All right. Oh, we're up here. These go in here. And we're going to be pulling out of here. I think we're getting to some of the fancier pieces in here. So let me see if I can get the cottons out. This is just a square that got stuck to something in here. So these are some of the silk stuff, organzas and all of that kind of stuff. So that's got to be kept separate. This is really pretty when, depending on how you're going to use it, the texture that's in it. She is downsizing. She is downsizing. And what she's going to actually do with her stash is she's actually going to donate it. She, when she was making quilts, she was making quilts for a particular organization, and she's now crocheting for them. And so what she's going to do is just donate the fabric to them because they do have people that make stuff. And she's just going to donate the fabric to them. They're going to give her tax write-off, and then she can just write it all off on taxes. Because I asked her, I said, are you interested in doing a sale? Because I didn't know if she didn't want to do it. I would volunteer to help her. This is another fossil fern here. Pull that one out. So she said she just didn't want to do it. She was just going to donate it because she rather that her, that it be used. And then again, she can write it off as a tax write-off. So, and she was like, I got everything I need. I don't need the money. So Another, I bought, I'm into these purple. So when I got into the purple stash, notice that I'm getting like different color of purple. It's not your traditional colors of plum, shall I say. And then I found that fabric again in this. I got all 3 prints. I thought maybe she might want them when I pulled them out, because I kept saying, this is the same print I've showed you before. You sure you don't want it? And she was like, nope. And this is another fossil fern. So I like swirls too. So I got those. Here's more of that Laura Birch print with the birds upside down. But you get the drift. And I don't know what this is. I just got it for the color. Hey, Francis Jackson. Sandy says at PIQF there is a So Powerful booth with the girl bag kits for donation of $10. So remember, they take fabric. Yeah. Well, she can do whatever she wants with her fabric. She already knows. I'm not telling her what to do with her fabric. She already know what she's doing with her fabric. So, everybody, that's the one thing, different people have different things that happen. And she probably told me the name of it, but I don't remember what it was called, because it wasn't like one of your main organizations that you donate to. But people have their own things that they're close to, and they already know who they're going to donate to. It's like when breast cancer comes, not everybody is going to donate to breast cancer. There may be somebody else that had pancreatic cancer. It's not that they're not willing to donate. You can't donate to every cause. And so people have their own causes, and I respect that, because I do the same thing. I have my own causes. And what I did for Breast Cancer Day was I made somebody a bag. It's like, I didn't want to make a quilt. I didn't want to donate blocks. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and then I could give it to the person that I wanted to give it to. And I still contributed. This is another one that's one of those little weird pieces that you can, depending on how you're using it in. I can't even explain the type of blocks I'm looking forward to doing with these fabrics, because I know what her stash is. Again, another texture print that can be used. I'm in love with all of these prints. God bless her, so kind. Yes, she is. This is that one I'm going to be getting rid of. And then I got that swirl in red. It was in lilac before. So I'm going to put these in the bag just to get rid of them for right now off the desk, because we're going to start going into some of the specialty prints, and it's going to go back into cotton too. But she also hand dyed on silk, y'all. This is pure raw silk. Now, this one right here, I have all of this wrapped up because she wants me to make her a pillow. She said she just, she knows she's not going to use it. She just hates to give this type of stuff to charity, because they don't even know what it is. They'll just be using it as regular fabric, which is fine. But she says she wanted to make sure she gave it to somebody that appreciate what it is. So she gave me all of her specialty prints. So this is going to be the front of her pillow. And see how she got this design in here? So the pillow is exactly this size too, with minus seam allowances. And then I'm going to use all of these pieces that I'm showing you now to piece the back, because I needed 3 pieces to make the back, because the back's going to overlap. Or I needed 2 pieces because the back is going to overlap. So I figured if I use 2 light pieces, you wouldn't tell where I had to piece it to get the other piece big enough, because you got to have that overlapping. So I've got all of this wrapped up together so that I can make her a pillow before she leaves. It doesn't have to be done soon, so I'm going to put that to the side. And then again, just raw silk that she hand dyed. Thank you, Kayla. Here we go. Another hand dye. This is just raw silk. There are different types of silk too. And then she also has some of that prepared for dyeing cotton. So this This is not, I don't know what this is, but you know how you buy this fabric? She must have bought it white with this jacquard print on top, and then she dyed over that. So this one here has a few little holes in it, but it's one of those things that she stamped on. This is probably my least favorite, but you know, it might come in handy somewhere. Here's that print again where she used two different dyes, where she had that jacquard print in the background and then used two different dyes. And you can decide if you want to use the texture side or the smooth side. Another piece of raw silk, and it's got stamping on it too. And then these are, she actually started using this piece of silk. So it's just scraps of that. We got organzas. This purple color, reds, more blush, maroon color, little orange, some kind of purple. And this one was stuck in here by mistake. Here's a piece of, look like it could be Christmas print. It'll just be in my scraps because I'm not doing Christmas prints right now. Another piece that she stamped on, where she stamped these leaves. And this one, she actually got the like tricot type interfacing on the back to make it stiffer for when she used it. So I think that's the only one she used. Just little pieces, different colors. And then another kind of blush color, tan. So these are all, I don't think any of these are Teajuana silk, but you almost want to believe that they are. Here's another one with some stamping, silver, and then gold. Those were like lames, and then it's, hold on, it's still some more. Goodness gracious. She gave me all of her specialty fabrics. And then again, she went back into dyeing and stamping again, making designs here. And she said some of them, they were like experiments. Some of them were not her favorites. Some were. So I don't know if this one was a sample where they did something in each corner, I think, when they first started. They're using like combs and different, they were making things with poster board. They were cutting lines into poster boards and using it. She said she was in a class. You already seen this one. It's similar. This is just a piece, I think, of home deck print. This is another piece of dyed silk. Just the colors are just pretty. More dyed silk. I'm not going to open up anymore because they're about the same. This one looks like that first one I showed you where it's got the chevron in the center. That's the same as another piece I showed you, just different color, green. Another one of those with that chevron center. No, this one's just lines, straight lines. So just really pretty. And this is just half of it. Again, she was using the, she definitely didn't like this one. This was another one of the experiments with using lines cut into poster board and stuff. So she didn't like this one. I was like, cut up, it'll be fine. The same pink, the chevron in the middle here, because those are diagonal lines. And then it's just more and more and more and more. I think that's all of the hand stuff, I think, like the hand dyes. So I'm gonna actually, I think I'm just gonna put it on the floor because I don't have another bag in here right now. just to keep it separated. All right, and then I want to open this container because I'm going to just temporarily put these. I don't know if you all know what ultra suede is, but it's like it's a faux suede. It's thinner than regular suede, and it's one of those things that costs a lot of money per yard. People buy it to make clothing with, but then it's not the thick suede that you would have to have industrial machines to sew. So this is the width of it. And what you normally do, and I'm not going to go through all these colors here, but what you normally do is you just buy scrap bags for quilting, or if you want to use it as an accent on a bag or something like that. And they got different sizes that are left over from scraps from when they cut for customers in the boats. And she's been in here using it, so I'll have to go through here. And I hate to really get rid of small pieces because you can always, if you need a little circle or something like that, you can always cut that out of there. But I have ultra suede I purchased on my own. And so I'm just going to add this into my collection. So it's a lot of it here. But I just wanted to keep it all together. And then I'm looking at templates. I definitely don't need those. And so we will just close this up just because I didn't want to lose those little pieces. So I'm just putting them in there temporarily. Dorothy said there's 107 people and only 65 thumbs up. And here are some scraps. This is one of the first things she had in a basket on a table, and it was fossil fern. So I took all of this. It must have been cut off the back of a bed-size quilt. So that was one of the first things that I took. And I'm still finding little bitty pieces. More scrap here. This was in the bag that was on the table. That was. This is something, I think she was doing like some kind of Ricky Tam's project with this, where you take two fabrics and then, well, maybe three, and then you're cutting them and then sewing them back together. I don't know if it's called convergence or something else. I'm blocking the name. It could be called convergence. But she had this, and it really isn't her colors. I thought this would be cute, maybe in the center of some kind of African prints, or even all animal prints. So I just took it. I said I can do something with it. Again, this is another one of those ombre-ish type fabrics here. Just a scrap of it. Let me put this on the bottom and pull this on top. Again, I'm picking fabrics that can be used more artistically, more than just as a standalone. This was also something that came off the back of a quilt, and it even has light portions in it. More batiks. I remember quilting this quilt for her, so I just took that last block she had, that piece, that square. Very pretty colors in here. Purple. Almost done. I've kind of ran through it. This batik here that has sparkles on the front, or you can turn it to the back and then it'll be plain. You choose. Another piece of batik. Some of this stuff I think she put in here because I don't remember getting these. Like I said, I was putting stuff in her lap. She was pulling stuff off the shelf. And here is more of those specialty prints. This one's really pretty with the lines in it. And then a solid purple. And that's why I thought when I first saw them, I thought they were Dupioni silk. But I don't know. I'm going to have to pull out my Dupioni silk and see if any of these might be silk. And then this is just a chunk of green. Pink. That's a lot of this in here. Look at that. And this is pretty too. Kind of that marbling print. Love that. And some light teal. Yellow. Yellow. More yellow. And yellow. And another piece of yellow. This is the only light color print that I think I got. And I got this she had it in another color. Oh, it's right up under it. Another 2 colors. Because when I find stuff, when I asked her if she first wanted and she says no, and then when I find 2 or 3 of the same prints, I put them all together and I put them back in her lap, and she still didn't want them. So this is the light with white background, same print with sapphire, and then this print with black. So I just took all 3. And this is another piece of that batik, just a bigger chunk of it this time. This was a project she was working on, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And it's made out of all of those different lames. And that's one of the reasons why I don't think those other fabrics are lame, because these are thinner. You can see through this, see? And the other fabrics, I can't see through them. I'm almost think that they're Dupioni silk, but I have to check. But these are really, really, it's just a block. It can be put into anything. And then she told me to take the extra fabric that went with this. In this bag is a keychain. It's been used, but that's funny. That's in here. And I knew these 2 items were in here. I'm trying to get rid of stuff I know I'm not going to use. But she has a straight handle 45 blade and a straight handle 60mm blade. And these are what I use most of the time. I have the Arteza ones that I use. I do have Martelli rotary cutters. But I just tend to use either Ofa's ergonomic one or the straight blades most of the time. So she just happened to have those, and she said she had kept one, and this was she wasn't going to be using these 2 anymore. So she was getting rid of those. So that's it for all the fabric. And I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, because I normally put this like in my extra block thing. I guess I could put it in there and just put this extra fabric in there. Maybe I might need it to square up the edges. So I'll put a pin in here. Hold on, because it's going to go into an extra block can. That's how I made my communique quilt, was all extra blocks with stuff like that. This is going into something else. These are hand dyes. These pansies I don't really want. Well, I guess I can put all the stuff that I'm going to do something with in here, and I'll put these pansies in here because it's going somewhere. I'm not keeping it. I do not want any more floral fabric. Hey, Sandy Sanchez. Oh. Mona did what is here? Love all the dye fabric. Yeah, they were really pretty. And I'm trying to see what's going on with the chat, guys. Olivia Pearl says it's tea. I don't know what that means, but hi, Olivia. French Seams must be here saying hi, everyone. I see it now. I'm seeing response. So yeah, so that's what I got. Now, the thing that I went for, I wasn't even expecting. Well, I went to go pick up her quilt top, not to get any of this fabric. And I definitely wasn't expecting to get the sewing machine because I haven't done any services. But she had the machine at the door, and when I even walked in, I had no idea that the machine, that thing was there, because I just walked in and was talking to her. So she actually gave me, I just went online. If you all don't know, if you ever get a machine on Marketplace, or if somebody gives you a machine, when you search for sewing machine manuals online, you're going to run into a couple of different places where you can go get them. And some of those places are going to be trying to charge you for a sewing machine manual. But there are places that you can get manuals free. So if you ever get into a site and they're telling you that they want you to pay for a manual for it, and it's always going to be a copy. It's never going to be the original manual. It's always going to be a photocopy. So you never want to pay for a manual. Sewing Machines Plus always has manuals on their site for free. If they know of the machine and they got access to the manual, they will give it to you for free. Thank you, everybody. And so this is the machine that I have. It's the Fall Quilt Expressions 2044. So they have this book, this manual is for the 34 and the 44. So I know absolutely nothing about this machine. I did yesterday print this out. I wasn't at home yesterday either. I did some orders. I did YouTube stuff on Thursdays, dropped off orders on Friday, met somebody on Friday, dropped off the orders at UPS and after I met with them. And by the time I got back home, I was done. I had to get ready for Kevin today. So I did desk work on Thursday and then still had appointments on Friday. So I haven't read any of this. What I like to do is just print the manuals and then I put them in a binder, and then I just sit down and read like a book. I kind of do all of my quilt books like that as well. Not that I need to know that information, but it's just nice to know what a machine can and can't do before I go plugging it in and starting to do something with it. Except for if it's a brand new machine, I just put it up here and start going. But I did read on my brother, I did read the manual before I actually used that machine. So let's pull the machine up here so you can see it. Got to get the foot. I got all these fabric bags in front of me. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, this is what I just put over there. I'm like, did I get 3 bags from her? But it's just one. Thank goodness. All right. So I left my machine out so I could put this one up here so you all could see it. Now, I am not going to cut this on. I did read that the only place it needs to be oiled is down in the bobbin. So I'm not going to cut it on. I'm not going to sew with it today. But I will work on it. But it was last service December of 2021. So it hasn't even been a year yet. And it was serviced in Springfield, Missouri. It's got the information on the back. So in addition to that, she also has one of those real long LED lights, but she's got it kind of taped up here with packing tape. So I'll be looking at that, but I'll be basically just working on sewing. I'm not worried about a light. I can replace the light if I don't like it later. So I think it's a very pretty machine. I like the color. I just knocked my whole thread rack back by pushing this machine into the light that's up here. So I have to go over there and retrieve all of that. But yeah, it's a really pretty machine. Let me see if I can tilt you down a little bit. So bounce movements here. So yeah, very pretty machine. It looks like it's got the FOF has that even feed feature, which is on my Bernina as well, but FOF I think was the ones that had it first. And then this tray here opens up and it's got stuff in it, and I'll show you that, but I'm just trying to show you from the front. And then this tray swings out instead of lifting up and out. So I don't know if it comes out completely, like if it lifts off of this what do you call it, like I don't know, it's like I don't know what you call it. I almost had the name and forgot. And then you can just open it here. You don't have to move it out to open it. And then it does have a little bit of inch and centimeters across the top as well if you need to do some quick measurements. So I'm going to turn it around. This is the foot pedal, so it's one of those bigger ones, and it presses down in the back, so that's how it goes instead of the front. You know how your front, you normally press here, but this has, like, it's open. And so this really has to be pressed, so your foot really got to be up high on here. So that's interesting. It's a night fat pedal. And then I'm going to turn it around just so I can see. Let's see if any of this opens on the top. I'm not sure. I haven't done anything with this. So yes, this top part opens up. And then it shows you the decorative stitches that it can do up here. So I haven't done anything with this. It's got a spool of thread in there. I don't even know how to thread it. And so I won't be doing a thing with this. I have no idea what all these buttons are, but it's going to be interesting and fun to learn. I have one of the girls in my small group where we go, the So Busy Quilting Guild. She has one, and so she swears by her old, not this model, but she swears by the old sewing machines. And so that's why I wanted an older model FOF. And I don't even know what year this came out or anything. I haven't done any research. And then I just know that I wanted one. It's even got a button right here. I don't know what none of this stuff is. I'm thinking that's to drop the feed dogs, but hey, who knows? In here it's got which I wasn't expecting to get a lot of the accessories. This is a bag with some writing in it. I don't know if it's one of the accessories in here. Got all kinds of seam rippers and brushes, a pin spool for a double if you wanted to do 2 needle or a thread, one of the spools that need to come off this way. So that's good. This is the kind of stuff you don't normally get. Okay, I gotta really go over there now, right? It wouldn't come off. Another seam ripper, 2 more seam rippers. You can always have enough seam rippers. Make that a total of 4 seam rippers so far. Even the original oil that came with this machine, because I remember, I don't know if you refill this container. Let's see. Nope, because it's pretty small. So this is original oil, because I did see this when I was printing the pages. A guide foot's in here. So a lot of the pieces are in here. This is probably a 1/4 inch foot with the guide. It's got the little metal thing under the bottom. Ain't showing up pretty good, but hey, it's a 1/4 inch foot, I think. And you got the different size thread spool caps, and one's up there. 2 more's here. And let's see how many other feet are in here. It's got the buttonhole making foot. And that goes with that, I think. And rolled hem foot. The zigzag foot, like your multi-purpose A foot, where you've got the bigger hole if you want to do that. And this is very similar, but oh, this one has marks on it, so you can probably see when you're when you're on the side of the needle. So they probably had an upgrade foot. I think this is an edge guide foot that's adjustable. And is this a button sewing? Yeah, this is a button sewing foot. This type of a foot. A button sewing foot. So yeah, it's got plenty of attachments. Now, I don't know what this is. This is to FOF, because it's something that gets plugged in some kind of somewhere. So I don't know what this is, if it's a adorning foot or what. That's different. I know nothing about that. Put this in here so I don't break it. And there is something down. There's some needles in here. I don't know how I'm going to get that out. I have to turn the tray upside down. Does this tray come out? I don't think so. I have to turn the whole thing upside down. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bobbins, and maybe 1 in the bottom. I don't know. I don't even know how you get to the bobbin. I haven't figured any. Oh, have to open this out. And then it opens. And the bobbin's in here. So yeah, then it's another bobbin in there. So I am just going to put this back in here. I'm almost thinking this thread might have been from them working on this machine at the shop, because I've never seen this thread before. It's old thread, but her daughter just passed away. I want to say it was earlier this year. So Yeah, so this is great. Um, we just decided to do a barter. So instead of her paying me to do 2 quilts, which when I do her quilts, she just gives me sometimes incomplete quilt tops. And then if it's got any holes and things like that, I have to go in and fix all the holes and things like that. So she tells me to charge her for whatever my time. And so that's what I end up doing, is I just charge her for time. I'm trying to look at these numbers on here so I can put these back. This is number 3. Since this is new to me, trying to make sure all of this fit back in here, which I doubt it's gonna fit back in here right, but we'll see. um Number 2. And this says 0 or number 1, it says. So I'll when I get a chance, since it's already been serviced, all I got to do is oil it. But I do need to read the book first. Like I said, I'm not going to just jump in here on a machine from a company that I've never sold on before. So it's going to take me a little while to get going with this machine, because I got too many other things right now on my agenda. So, but I do like the fact that I now have a FOF. I can say I'm a FOF owner. That's pretty cool. So I had been looking on the marketplace for a used one and never could find one at the price point that I was willing to pay, or the models that I was looking for. So I'd rather do that and come out short on my service end and have exactly what it is that I want, than to have her pay me and then I buy the machine back from her. Sometimes what you want is more important than the end payment at the end. So she's still telling me, total up my bill, and if I owe you more money, just let me know. I'm like, I would never do that. So she's not going to get a bill from me. So, and Diane says that tray should come off, and I'll figure all of that out when I read. So thank you. I know some of you all probably have it. So she says that she believes that the model 2044 is the year 2004 model. I have one from 1999 and 2010, so that's cool. Hi, sis, and everyone just got in. That's my brother. Ella Odom says, T, the pedal has a retractable cord. Okay. It doesn't feel like it does, but it doesn't have any like give in it. It's weird because it's got this groove over here. I don't know if that's just to have the cord sit there, but it doesn't feel like it's retractable at all, or it's either that or it's stuck, but it looks like it's pretty long. And I don't even have the power cord, I don't think. Let me see. Now that I'm looking at this. Yeah, so I'm going to have to figure out the power cord. I'll look in the bag and see if it's in there. I have a feeling that when it got packed up, that somebody probably didn't know that that power cord went with this machine, and so it might be somewhere else. So I may have to end up getting a power cord somewhere. So hopefully I can get a power cord. I'll be looking. I'll look back in the case. But this is all that I saw. I didn't see any black, because I'm looking, like most of the time I have nothing to hook the machine up to power. This is just going to operate the foot pedal once the machine has power. So I can't sew on it anyway. Okay? Because I don't see any other cords over here. But yeah, I did pull the cord. It didn't move. I don't want to be yanking on it and it comes out. I think this cord is not you push it in. So that's good to know. It's not retracting on its own. I'll read the paperwork, but when I pull on it, I have no spring give, but I will push it in so I don't have to worry about it because it's going to be a while. If I don't have a power cord, it's going to be a while before I can plug it in anyway, get it running. So, but I'm still glad to have the machine. So yeah. Diane says, laughing out loud, pull. Hey, June Hanson. Yeah. So that's in there pretty good. So what I am going to do is, I guess we're going to end up sewing. So we'll turn this back around. I don't have it plugged in though. Let's see. And I guess this is going to be a sew without oiling day on the Bernina. I guess I can put oil from the top. Wait till it starts and put the table on. Yes, I made it back in time. The spring the spring can be broken, right? Because there is nothing, no give, no bounce back. Just waiting on this Bernina. It takes a little minute for it to wake up. It takes a nap. Yeah, said it may not work anymore. Okay. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to oil. Oh God, I hate this when this slides back. It gets crooked. I'm just going to drop some oil down from the top because I'm not going to oil right now. Take this thread out of the needle and then I'm just going to roll this around. And then I'll clean it maybe the next time I come in here, whenever that is. Next time we sew and chat. I got to do some long arm work, y'all. I wasn't planning on cutting more fabric. I had to cut more fat quarters. And I still have yet to cut the new skin tone. So I plan to do that. And then I need to be trying to load up this long arm so I can get quilts done. I got a couple of baby quilts. Not the one I just picked up. She doesn't need that till early November. But I got a few I need to do for somebody else that needs them soon. And then I also got to quilt the one for my daughter. Okay, we need knee lift back added on. You can fix what was broken. Yeah, I'm not even worried about that foot pedal right now. I got to get a power cord, so I'll get that. I'll check with her and see if she has it. And then if she doesn't, I'll order one, probably from Sewing Machines Plus might have it. All right, let's raise this foot again so I can get my thread underneath. I do have a lot of fuzz over here from making those last bowl cozies. So, so does she watch you here? If so, maybe she forgot to give you the cord. It was all in a case already, and I'm sure that she didn't put that in a case because she doesn't lift anything heavy like that anymore. Not that machine is not very heavy either. It's a nice weight. If I like this machine, it might be my new travel machine. So I don't have to move this machine that's heavy. I said I wasn't taking it out the house again. I've moved it about 4 times total, maybe for retreats. And while I like sewing on it, it's a lot. Unless I'm going to be at a embroidering or using the other feature that I need to have this machine, I'm going to leave the Bernina at home. The baby lock is heavy too. It's not as heavy as this. So I'm trying to either get my other Bernina to work, which is a smaller Bernina, although it's heavy, but it's smaller, or I'm going to take my featherweight and start taking it. But you know, I don't have anything I can zigzag on if I take those machines. So, oh, it's back here. I didn't even finish the other bags that I was working on. I mean, the other bowls. They're just still sitting back here. So last week I made these bowl cozies. So I made 4. And if you all remember last week, I forgot to put the X in before I sewed the bowl together. And it ends up that it doesn't matter. So now I'm no longer sewing the X's first. I'm putting the bowls together and then sewing the X's later. And again, I said because I'm sewing on my Bernina and it has the help of this dual feed foot back here. I don't know if that's what helped so it didn't pucker, but I did not get one pucker. So I'm going to carry on, and then I don't have to worry about my bowl being in a sack. I don't have to worry about sewing like a 1/2 inch X on each side of center. I was re-sewing those lines before. So I'm happy with how they're turning out. After all, they are bowl cozies. It's not something you're going to be wearing. So they're still going to work sufficiently. So that's what I am doing here. I am just going to be sewing these together. Now, somebody asked me, and I ain't had a chance to respond. I was talking about these pins that I have that have they're double pinned. And can you see that? I used to use these a lot on the long arm, or I used to use T-pins to pin because it made it so it was a lot more secure, especially the first part I would put on the long arm leader when I was pinning. I would use this or a T-pin because it was stronger than a regular straight pin. But it's just a double pin, and I like sometimes using these. I forget what I guess I might have been sewing bowls, but I use these sometimes because it's just 2 pins right there that's just holding. And what it's made for is that it goes on either side of your 1/4 inch seam. So if you got a match point that you're trying to match something up exact, like when you're doing a 4-patch block, it makes it so that you have a pin on each side of the seam. It really worked well. I seen a lot of people using them when we were doing stack and wax, but to match up their seams. But me, I just use them because they just a better grip than just a single pin. Good night, Deborah. Thank you so much for coming in. So yeah, I didn't even realize I didn't have the power cord. But like I said, I never looked in the case when I was there. I didn't even know what the machine looked like when I brought it home. I'm walking out the door and she go, "You're leaving your machine." I said, "I haven't done any work yet." She says, "Oh, I trust you." And that was the end. She was like, she just was I think she was trying to move stuff before her family came. So she was trying to get what she knew she wanted somebody to have out of the house before they came. And I said, and she was having, I think it was her son's family. And so he was going to be the one doing most of the moving. I said, "Do you want me to pack anything that you want for you while I'm here?" And she was saying, "No." I said, "You sure?" Because I said, they're going to come in and they just going to start boxing stuff up. She says, "Not if I'm sitting right here." So she was pretty funny too. She was like, they're going to give her time to go through her fabric and tell them what, so she can tell them what she don't want. So, but they are going to be packing up her sewing thing. And she called me today. I haven't had a chance to call her back. My husband said she called. I didn't know she had called me until it was almost time for me to go live. So I didn't get a chance to call her. Hey, Ella Odom. You can't see? All I did was just pin this ball right sides together. I had already done the darts on these last week. So all I've done is just with the piece of fabric and the batting, I just went and did the darts. I did not sew the X down the middle. And I've got them put together so I wouldn't get them mixed up on what goes with what. These two, I think I had put right sides together. They're ready to be pinned and sewed too. So I haven't done anything. Make sure you check your clock before you go. Only takes check your check your thumbs up. I'm saying clock. That's my Darcy again. Damali J says, hello, I just got here. I was chatting up on your earlier replay with Kevin. So that's cool. Welcome, Damali. So I found, now when I was sewing these before, I was trimming off 1/4 of an inch. And I was doing that. I was sewing on my featherweight. And I find, let me push this back because my knee lift is into my leg. And I can't sew without my knee lift coming up. Just want to make sure I start and stop here. It was the featherweight that didn't like, when I was doing the top stitching around the top, I felt like it was making a ridge. And so I started trimming the batting out. But on this Bernina, because it has a wider foot, it wasn't doing that on here. So I am no longer trimming the batting back 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So if you've got a machine that doesn't seem to like the thickness of the batting, because when you turn it down, it's going to be 2 layers of batting, then you can trim it out 1/4 inch. I found the Bernina did just fine on these edges here. That it didn't give me a ridge, which is what I was trying to avoid. This one you can see a lot better because it's white thread on blue. But it didn't give me that really weird edge that I had when I left it in on the featherweight. So it just depends on the machine that you're sewing on, whether you need to cut that 1/4 inch out or not. So it's saving me all kinds of steps now that I'm sewing back on my Bernina. You know, I'm back. I jokingly say, but it's so serious, is that I like bells and whistles on my sewing machine, you know? I just love bells and whistles. I like needle up, needle down. I like when I hit the thread cutter that it breaks the thread. It also raises the presser foot for me. I was sewing on that brother for a while. I like that this Bernina has the really big bobbins. I don't have to worry about running out of thread. It tells me when my thread is out. I'm just spoiled. So I fully recognize that. But you can sew and do all of this stuff on any machine, except if it's a straight stitch machine and you want to zigzag, there's no way you can do that. But just about everything else you can figure out a way to do on any machine. The machine doesn't matter for the most part. For basic sewing, it does not. Sue says you should be able to adjust the presser foot tension on the featherweight. I think it was because the foot was so tiny that it didn't have enough to hold it down. These are much wider presser feet, but I can, you know, that's something for another day. I'm back to sewing on Miss Bernie. I missed her for right now. Okay. So we just sewed this one. And then you just leave an opening to turn right side out. Oops, autocorrect, change spelling of your name. Oh, I don't know who Diane was talking to. Oh, Damali. Terry says, I love my featherweight for piecing. Yeah. You know, every machine I think is great for something. And I never really sewed like I sewed strings and crumbs on my featherweight. So I never did any serious sewing. And then here I go jump in and I'm doing bow cozies. So I never really got the middle ground, you know, like piecing with it and making sure I can get an accurate 1/4 inch seam. So I went and purchased because I use R-Feel on my featherweight. when I use it. And so I went and bought, they got a new thing, a new thread spool holder. So I went and bought that from the featherweight shop. So I'm looking forward to like using it a lot more. Scrap club meeting is next week. I might take it and force myself to do something. I either will sew or won't sew at all. So we'll see. But that's how I make myself use something, is I take it, take it out the house, and that's the only machine I got. But my featherweight, it's all oiled up, it's all cleaned. I just need to do regular oil before I start sewing on it, because it's don't set for a little bit. But as far as cleaning and all of that, it's clean. It's ready to go. I haven't sewed on it since, well, I did sew on it when I came back home from retreat. I did. That's when I was sewing the other bowl cozies that I did. But I've been using all of those bowl cozies. So I said, you gotta make some bowl cozies if you plan on giving them to your family. So, but we shall see. I do love them. I love these bowl cozies. I think they're great. I use them for hot and cold. I had a bowl of ice cream. It was nice to have it for. And now, and I use it for hot stuff, of course. I have put it in a microwave. I put it in there if it's like less than, my microwave is very powerful, so I do like 2 to 2.5 minutes. If it's longer than that, I just heat my food without the bowl, and then I just use the bowl to pick it up out the microwave, and then it's already in the bowl. I maneuver it into the bowl while it's still in the microwave. All right. So we're going to just top stitch, and I'm just using white thread again. This is a bowl cozy. I don't have to worry about matching thread and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not worried about that. So I'm just going to make sure I just fold it over and go from there. Now this is where I want to increase the tension, and then I go and forget. That's why assembly line did these, because I kept forgetting to change the tension back. So my stitch length, I want about 3.0 when I'm top stitching. Hey, Jennifer Mizard. She says, hi, friends. I was driving with my daughter tonight when my alarm went off for sewing chat. She said, it's tea time. Laughing out loud. That's funny. Let's see. On most vintage machines, zigzag attachments are available. That's Sue. I thought the basic featherweight was just a straight stitch. Maybe I'm dreaming. And I thought that the next model, the 222, was the zigzag. I could be dreaming. I don't know, because I don't pay attention to keeping all of that information in my head. Terry says, I just found a zigzag foot for my straight stitch vintage sewing machine. A zigzag foot? Okay. I don't know anything about that. So somebody else is saying it too. I saw heavy stuff on my vintage Singer 1591. I have that special spool holder as well for the featherweight. So do you like it, Terry? As I haven't even tried it yet. Are you using wrap and zap in there or regular batting? This is just regular, warm and natural, 100% cotton batting. You do want to make sure everything is 100% cotton. My thread is 100% cotton. My fabrics are 100% cotton. You put something in that microwave that's not 100% cotton, you're going to burn your house down. So don't do it. It was the same thing when we were doing the microwave bags for the potatoes. You got to make sure all your products are 100% cotton. You do not have to buy that expensive stuff. 100% cotton batting will work just as well. If you want to buy the other stuff, that's fine, but it's not necessary if you're on a budget. Me, I use all my scraps. I use warm and natural in my quilts, so I just sew my pieces together if I need to, and then I just cut them. These were all die cut on the AccuQuilt die. Oops. I just knocked off my my thing must not have been up, my needle threader, so that just broke. And it caught on my hand as I was turning around. It could have caught on my ring. My ring sits up pretty high. But that's the first time that's happened. I've sewn with my ring before, so that's weird. I don't know what that's about. But now my needle threader's sitting over here looking crazy. See, this is the kind of stuff that happens to us in our sewing room. And then when you're doing regular videos, they don't show you all that kind of stuff. They cut that out. I have always left it in because stuff can happen and you wondering like, what was that? Well, that was my needle threader taking a hike. I think that's what it was. I'm going to wait till I take this off and check it out. I know I think it's broke. I don't think it's something that can be fixed. I hear people in the group saying theirs break all the time. This is the first time I've had this happen. I've had the machine for 2 years. I haven't sewed in so long I don't even know where my thread snips are. Oh, they're right here. They could have bit me. Oh, and I got another piece laying in here. Yeah, this is good and broke. I got 2 pieces. I got this piece over here and this piece over here. This piece was laying in the bowl. Let me make sure it was the thread. Yeah, it's all the pieces of the needle threader. All right. I'll set it up here in front of the oil. It's ready for a service. It should have had a service in last month. But I don't know if the store where I took it to, they closed. So I'm going to have to contact them and see if how to get my machine serviced now. All right. So now we got the bowl done. And now I got to do the X. So I'm going to still leave it at 3.0 for the X. Goodness gracious, I got to manually thread a machine when it's time. I'm spoiled, remember? Okay, so we're just doing the X. I started off a little bit and then I just smoothed the bowl on the inside and just eyeball to the corner. I just use growth thread, 100% cotton, 30 weight in my multi-needle embroidery machine to quilt in the hoop, and I finally got a balanced stitch. So happy. Yes, that's what I said. Some machines just like certain things and other machines wouldn't even like that thread. Now I have a friend, she's using it on her Elysimo. It works fine. That's the thread you buy from Amazon, off of Amazon. I haven't tried it. I got enough thread. I don't need to buy any yet. I got so much thread. All right. And so then I'm doing my X afterwards. And the X comes out perfect. I got to cut some trim threads, but other than that, no puckers anywhere. This is just the pleats here, but there are no puckers. So I'm like, whoever came up with this and telling us to do all those X's first, plus you had to do 2 X. I'm only doing 1 X now, and it's a whole lot faster. So I accidentally fell into this by forgetting to put the X in last week. So I don't think I'm ever putting the X's in again. All right, we're going back to sewing, so I need to put this machine back to 2. And Diane says she's spoiled too. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pin up these next 3 so I can do them together. I just like to at least sew one thing while I'm on here. If I'm going to sew, I try to do at least one completed thing before I start assembly line sewing. But I assembly line did the darts last week. That's the longest part, is putting in 8 darts. Once you get past the darts, it's smooth sailing. Darcy says she had one of her needles snap today. Scared me for a second. Nobody was hurt, but it scared you. Yeah. And that's what this did, because I have been hearing in the group people saying that theirs were breaking all the time. I could have sworn that I went online and bought a replacement just in case, but I don't know if I think I did, because people were saying, and they had given where the part was on Amazon and all of that. But I think I bought one, so I have to look in my Bernina supplies. But if not, it needs to go in for service too. It might, maybe when I get the card for that FOF, I might send it in for service. Because it hasn't been, it's on its year now. I normally send it in, try to do every year. But that'll make you take something in when something break, won't it? Sometimes your machine's so sweet, you don't want to take it in for fear they're going to mess up that spot you like. So I've been procrastinating. Plus, like I said, I had issues with the guy who does it. The shop that he was working out of closed. So they did send a notice out a couple weeks ago saying that to contact him via something else. But I didn't do that yet. I was busy with other things. All right. All right. Darcy says, for people that are leaving, before you go, make sure that you thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications so you can have fun with us. So thank you, Darcy, for keeping track of the thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'm trying to pin your message. I can't talk and work at the same time. So she's got to get going too. So good night, Darcy. Thank you so much. We don't have much longer to be here. We got another 20 minutes. We are, like I said, I got to get these done. Otherwise, I'll be at Christmas looking like, not having anything to give. I mostly make something, or I'll buy something like in bulk that I normally do for my family, because it's so many of us, and I try to give something that I can give to everybody. And then the only other person I really give something to is normally my daughter and my niece. Well, it depends. I give everybody something, then I give like my daughter. It depends on what's going on in somebody's life. I might do some special things. Just depends. But it's so many of us when we get together on a holiday. I'd rather give everybody something than to give one person's a nice gift. I'd rather give to everybody. Whoops. One year I had made wallets that I gave everybody. I'm sure they all gone now, but I don't have time to make wallets. I want to make more wallets, but I don't have time. So Terry, which thread holder did you get for the featherweight? I have two. I have the metal one that sits over the thread holder on the machine, and it can hold a surgical cone. I love it. That one I have, and it just seems like it always is spinning, like moving. I do have that, but I just recently bought the one that has this for your R-fill thread to sit this way instead. The little metal thing that goes in the hole goes over, and the thread is still sitting upright. I found every time I cut the thread and then I go back to start sewing, it would unthread. So that's why I'm hoping that the new one will not do that. Yeah, and I haven't used it yet. Matter of fact, I even bought Kevin one for his birthday, and Kevin hasn't been sewing on the featherweight because he's been sewing on that Juki. Which I am so surprised. It's like he got that Juki and he hasn't looked back, and it took him so long to get a modern machine. He had never sewed on a modern machine, but that Juki has stolen his heart. I use a leader and ender when I sew. Okay, on there. Okay, so that makes sense too. Sometimes I have leaders and ender, and sometimes I'm working on stuff like this where I have to, I got to cut the thread. And I put a smaller hole because I went around the curve a little bit more, so it's a little bit more tedious to get this to flip out this time. But I'm hoping I'll have a smoother. I'm not having a little dimple. I'm getting a little dimple in my corner. And again, it doesn't matter because it's like a microwave bowl. But I'm trying to make it perfect, making adjustments. And I just want to see what this looks like before I sew the next one, so I can see if it's worth all the trouble. Just poking out all my corners here first. All right, yeah, I need to go around the curve. It looks a whole lot better. I was stopping too far in the curve, and then when I started back to close it up, it didn't want to smooth out right in the curve. So, lesson learned. Okay. And then just a couple of holding pins here. This green thing's coming back on. Whoops. Which Juki did he get? I don't know. I don't know. I want to say the 2010, but I could be just making up stuff. I don't know since I don't have it. I can't remember. So this is actually the outside. The print is the outside, the more solid one, but you can flip it any way you want. There you go. This is this pattern here. Jason says, I have been sewing on vintage machines for a while and have just started sewing on modern Bernina. No turning back. Yes, Lord. Spoiled rotten. See if I can. Yeah, I got to figure out. I really need to be doing something now. I don't broke my needle thread. That's never gonna work. That's a feature. So I'll be looking to see if I have one first. That's the thing, and then I'll try to fix it myself if I have one. And then if not, I will definitely be calling this guy. This just is a reminder for me to take this into service. That's all this is. You need to be taken into service. That's all it is. Yes, indeed. All right, now let's do these darts. Hmm. But I do enjoy like sewing on all of my machines. Like I said, I had certain machines, like I had one machine that I enjoyed free motion quilting on. And so I only free motion quilted on that machine. And so I just used the best feature that I liked on each of my machines. I used to sew on my Elissimo. I made myself sew on it because I knew I bought it for the embroidery module. But I made myself sew on it and did all kinds of stuff, buttonholes, everything, so that if I ever had to pull it into being my main machine, I at least have used it and know that all of that stuff worked, because I don't know if any of my features work when you don't use them for a while, but I at least know that they worked at a particular time. And so now it just sits there and all it does is machine embroidery. Now, I used to have the Baby Lock Elagio up here before I got this Bernina, and it was my second machine. So when I'm doing machine embroidery, I would use two machines. I have both machines going, and if it was a part one and a part two, I'd have part one running over there, part two running over here. So I kind of had my own little sweatshop going. So I like that because instead of me working on just one thing at a time, I could be working on two. Ouch, just stuck myself. These some long pins. Yeah. So I do like the fact that baby locks are easier to get going. I feel like these Berninas are a little bit picky when it comes to embroidering. A little bit more time consuming. A lot more steps. Okay, this is the pin that stuck me. It's sticking way out. Trying to stop right at that seam, that dart. I'm looking for Bernina now, and I feel the guilt. I do the same to you. I use one for free motion. Yeah, because if you keep one machine set up for free motion, then you're not having to change it all the time. And so all you got to do is just pick that machine up and start going. You've got a practice piece. Make sure everything's right. You just oil it, clean it if it needs it. And you just start sewing. You're not having to put on your free motion foot and all this other kind of stuff. My machine over here, I don't have to worry about where is my embroidery unit. I have no idea. I think my embroidery unit is in the back in my storage area. That used to be my card making room. I don't even know where the Bernina arm is, okay? But I know where my baby lock one is. I'm coming to the last corner. I just want to make sure because we don't want to sew the whole thing closed. We are going to have a very tiny opening because I got to get around the corner. And then backstitch. It does make a difference. It's just a little bit more to pull out. Liz says, I go back and forth, vintage to modern, upholstery, home decor to silks, linens to knit. You need the versatility. Yes. Make sure I'm in between these two fabrics before I go tugging this around. This is a little bitty hole. Like, what in the world? A dealer just look up the motor of the Baby Lock Vista, and he said it was 0.9 amp motor. That's pretty strong. I don't know anything about none of that. Motor. I don't know what motors are in things. I don't blame you, Jason Lewis. I have a small army of machines here at Teaquilts. I have 3 set up at all times. Yes, and that's what I did. I had one set up for straight stitch, one set up for free motioning, and then another one set up for the machine embroidery. I had 3 that were out to be used. And since I got the long arm, I got rid of the setup for the that was my Singer XL 1000. A lot of people didn't know how to free motion quilt on it. But if you just read the book, it was in the book, but it was an unusual thing you had to do. Most times you drop your feed dogs, your stitch length doesn't matter. But on the Singer XL1000, you had to increase your stitch length. It went all the way up to 4, and you had to increase that stitch length all the way up to 4. It had something to do with it releasing the thread in the thread guide when you did that, something, because if you didn't do that, it was very tight. And normally your stitch length does not matter when you drop your feed dogs. But it had something to do with that thread delivery. Okay. So we got another one ready to go. And we're just going to fold these little corners in where I've got to stitch the edge close. Let me round that corner just a little bit better. Okay. And put a pin. Sue says, I'm a vintage machine girl. Started with red eye treadle, and now 46 machines later, I think I may have a problem. Woo-wee. Do you ever switch them up, Sue? Or do you just sew every day on the same one? Remo's also reminding people to hit the thumbs up, step out, and then step back in and show your love and support. Hey, Remo. Deborah Quilt says, I have at least 3 machines set up at all times as well. Have you ever tried quilting a big quilt on your baby lock Elissimo? No, but I have. When I was quilting on my sewing machines, I was quilting on the Singer XL1000 that didn't even have as much room. So if I could stitch on the Singer XL1000, you can most definitely quilt on this baby lock Elissimo, but I never have because I've never had to do it. The only thing that I probably ever, once I got my big machine, I've done placemats for retreat in 2018. I just sat here and did them on my sewing machine because I was watching television. That's the only reason I did it, and they were just straight line stitching. So my screensaver is coming back on. So I have not ever quilted on I probably did some free motion, but probably was just doing it as a test when I first got it. That's probably about it. But I don't remember doing anything that was long term on that Elissimo as far as quilting is concerned. I sewed on it. I did like buttonholes, things that needed buttonholes on there. I sewed made a bag or something like that as well. I also sewed a button on. I used to sew button foot. And I'm trying to think, what else did I do? I can't remember, but I know I put it in service for a few months when I first got it so that I could use it, because I already knew what I was going to do with that machine. I already knew where it was going to end up. So I was like, I got all kind of feet. I got the container, and I don't even see it. It must be back there. And I got every foot that came with it at the time. I'm sure they've come out with new stuff, but I got the whole plastic container, the house, the feet, and everything. So yeah, ridiculous. Maria Quarterman says, hello, sorry I'm late, glad to be on. Welcome, Maria. Sue says she does switch them up regularly. It gives me an opportunity to service them and give them a spin, so that's good. I have a gorgeous red eye as well at Sue. Jason says, my Bernina came with an embroidery module, but I have yet to use it. You got to use it. I think it was Heirloom Sewing, and Bernina of Naperville has good videos. Heirloom Quilting, I think, is it Heirloom Quilting? Because every time a new machine come out, they go through and do step by step everything that machine do. So if you're searching for just one part, they don't show you like 5 different things in one video. They just show you that one part in that video, so you can actually watch what you need and get in and get out. Yeah, we don't want our thread to come out now. Since we have destroyed the needle threader, it's in 2 pieces over here. Well, 3 technically, because I got the other piece on there. When I destroy stuff, I do it well. I'm gonna have to get the book out just so I can remember what piece go where. I'm gonna try to put it back together first. Do you think it's possible to quilt in the hoop with a big quilt on that Elissimo? There are people that are quilting with their embroidery machines, and I saw some in the show that I just judged. I didn't see any that were like bed size, but there are people doing it. I would say yes. And then it depends on how you're hooping. A lot of people are using the magnetic hoop, and Bernina just came out with a new hoop that has side clamps so that you don't have to, you're not actually hooping stabilizer when you're doing that. So it is possible. And I can't remember the lady. There's some lady on YouTube who sells all kind of embroidery designs, but you can use any embroidery design you already have. But she shows you the technique. In her design, she like gives you the marking so that you can line up stuff. But if you're just doing a block, it's not that critical. You know, like a block at a time, it's okay. You can always make a little table runner to do a test run before you jump to a bed quilt. That's what I would do if I've never done it before. But you can do that if you got the patience. It's just going to be a lot of hooping. All right. All right, now we can turn this up to 3.0. Since we got both of these done. We only got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'll finish these 2 bowls. It's not a big deal. We'll go over a little bit. Try to go to a 4 corner and get that one out first, since I got a little bitty hole I'm turning through now. Let's see. Chat stopped rolling. I just woke up while watching T. Got the 4th booster yesterday, and my arm hurts like heck, but it made me feel tired. Yeah, that always happens to me. I gotta get that one yet. You're welcome, Maria. So Terry saying I want an embroidery machine too, but I don't think I will use it much. Hey, just dropped in to say hi. That's Miss Topaz. Hello, hello. I am giving my daughter, my brother, 4x4. So thinking about getting a 6x10 hoop combo machine. I just love the auto thread cutters. Yeah. So they got 4x4 is the smallest fill that you can use in embroidery. And if you're going to buy that to embroider, I almost recommend you go up to at least a 6x10, because so many designs are being made bigger now. I would almost recommend 8-inch, because these hoops are just getting bigger and bigger. So that way you don't have to go buy another machine. right now my machine, the Silissimo, is very obsolete because they got designs bigger than it now for the bigger hoops. These machines are that they're putting out now. So my I can do 8x12 on my Elissimo, and that's obsolete. This machine is old though. It's got to be at least 10 years. At least. I don't want that pen. I want the smaller ones. I have particular pen I like using in particular places. So that's why I have my pens on my pen cushion by color. I like to use particular one when I'm doing particular job. T, I gave you links to everyone who asked about the African fabrics at Soya's retreat. Okay, that's awesome. And thank you for posting that. That was very nice to see. And your blocks, your African Queen blocks look very, very nice. So that's cool. So yeah, I haven't gotten any sales yet. But if I get any sales, I'll be letting you know, girl. But I have a feeling that something else is gonna happen. Because you were at Soya's retreat. So yeah. All right, so we're ready to stitch this one down. Houston Astros just won in the 18th inning. Goodness gracious. That is too long to be playing. All right, so I got this now on 3.0 stitch length because I'm stitching through 4 layers. I'm doing about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And that's because I'm closing out this seam allowance that I got in here too. Pulling out these pins as I come to them. All right. My designs are nested blocks, not point to point, so they're easier to line up, yes. Remo talking about now she ride awake for the rest of the night. Liz says, I would love to make family the zipper pouch you made, but it would be too many before Christmas, about 16. I would not have time for anything else. Yep, you got to start early when you're doing stuff like that. That's why, I call myself starting early back in May, and here I am sewing in October because I hadn't done any, but I had made about maybe 6 of them or something, and I don't know. Maybe I made about 4 that I got around here because I've been using them. So I can't give those away. Those were more like my test subjects anyway, so. Yep. But since I've been doing it this new way, these new cozies, I haven't had not a one of them puckered. I am just in shock. I'm like, how many people have made these bags and have been everybody saying do the same way? Okay. So since we're sewing with the same stitch length, I can just go ahead and stitch my X. It's the stitch length. That's the main reason. I just finished making some blocks for my steampunk quilt. I found Donna Jordan had a free block that goes well with the theme of the quilt called Rolling Stone. Those machines have huge prices on them too. Yes, they do. A lot of machines, all machines to me have a huge price on them, no matter what the price is, because they're always more than what they should be. I just think I feel bad that the craft department, the craft industry just overcharges us for everything that we do. One more. They overcharge us for everything. And then I just have to cut all my tails. All right. Another one that's really pretty. And then they'll start repeating soon. I don't know. I got a red one here that I haven't done. I haven't repeated any yet, but soon they'll be repeating. I got quite a few fabrics though. But there will be some repeats. It's 10:06, guys. I got one more to do. I figure if I don't do this, I'm not coming back in here. So let me at least get these 4 done. And then I'll have 8. Yep. Ghost Machine. Yeah, I read that one. Yeah, that's right. Girl, y'all will be seeing it. I won't see it because I don't go over there. But y'all will see it. Good night. That's my brother saying good night, everyone. Stay safe still. Good night, sir. Got to get some sleep. Be good and be safe. That's June. I know some of you all got to go. Liz says you did great on your pouches. Yeah, I still got to make some. I still got my brother machine set up back there. I was in the middle of making a different one just for something to do. But I probably still got about 5 or 6 orders. I just, I just needed a break. I'm a person that don't like repetitive stuff. I would not be a good sweatshop employee because I get tired of sewing the same thing, and so I just needed a break. But I got people wanting 2 more of the. I think it's 2 more. I don't have it in my head, but I think it's 2 more of the cosmetic pouches that I did from Christine. I need to edit the video too so that I can upload that video. I do need to edit that video because I do intend to put a video up on how I modified that pattern to make it my way, so it was a tad easier, but it's still a pain in the butt at the end. But it was a lot easier. And I probably have the regular. I got some regular box pouches, and then I've got the ones where I was making them with the squares. That model I've got to make a couple. So I got about maybe 6 more to make. 2 of them for sure need to be done. 2 of them that I'm thinking needs to be done before Christmas. If I got my numbers right. But yeah. All right, so we're going to stitch this on this side where it's going to be out. The color side, I want to make sure my color side is pretty. Just in case it decides to pucker. I want to make sure I can see what's going on the top. Since this thread, I mean, I've got a distinguishable side, teal and white. So far, so good. And not to be boring at all, it was a nail biter. What? No, not being boring at all. Okay. Hi, Amy Dement. Welcome to the channel. Sue says good night all. She got to work tomorrow. Yep, I'm almost done. I got to sew this one last X here. And then I'll read whatever remaining chat is there. And then we'll be done. I'm just trying to smooth this out so I can sew that little perfect little X there in the middle. And there we go. Reverse stitch. And we're done. And I just got to trim. Oh, I got this one. Oh my goodness. Oh me, oh my. I thought I was all done. This is for the thread cut it. All right, and over here too. Very pretty. So this is the teal one. Right there. 2, 4, 6, 7. I guess I do have one more. I thought maybe I miscounted to 9, but nope, it's still 8. Oh my goodness. Here we go. All right. I only got 2 pins in this. I was putting 3 in the others. Okay. Okay, why is this corner not out? Ugh. All right, much better. That's pretty fabric. Thank you, Terry. These were all of my orphan prints that I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I use this in another quilt. Just use this stuff and get it done. Get it used. And then I was at a quilt shop and I bought some fabric from them. So that's why I have some duplicates. The other ones were just fat quarters. That some of the fat quarters actually were gifts at retreat, and I cut those jokers too. And then other ones I bought yardage because even though I had the fabric at home, I didn't have it with me, and I was trying to work on getting Christmas stuff started. So I bought fabric off their clearance shelf to sew as well, to cut it so I would be ready when I got home. And I didn't have my AccuQuilt die cutting system with me, so I just cut the size squares I needed until I got home. And then I ran them all through because I was cutting them for a retreat too. They were a retreat gift. So I probably cut at least 75 bow cozies. So that's 150 pieces of fabric, 150 pieces of batting. So... okay, so we'll make sure this side is pretty. Literally every single thing. Miss T said there was a step pouch. You were going to show us a shortcut. Said that was a step on the pouch. Yeah. It's a lot of different things that I did with that Christine's cosmetic bag. And so you need a whole video for all this stuff. I changed just about everything. I even changed the pattern a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. And I made it just so that it was easier for me to sew, because I was just having difficulties because when you're leaving holes to turn stuff, I didn't have much room. And then even putting the zipper on the other side, I felt like I needed more room. So I did a whole lot of stuff to that pattern. And I need to just edit the video and put it up there. I need to look at it to make sure I didn't say anything wrong as I was videotaping, because that happens where I'm just trying to make sure I'm saying the right thing, and then I say something wrong and don't realize I've said it. So then I have to put it over, I have to type it on the screen what I really mean. So yeah, I think we're done. Just a few strings. That's not right there. Is it down here? Yeah, just couldn't see it. All right, so we have 8 of these available now, if they haven't fallen over. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is no way. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6. They must have fallen off. It's like, wait a minute. That's 7. That's the teal one. I don't even see the other one just by standing over on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was just 8 before I sewed the last seam. And if I lean over with this table, this dumb Bernina table will get stuck. That's the worst design thing they ever done, is that. Oh, I see the bowl now. I can't reach it because it's on the floor. I did reach it. Hope I didn't break the table in the process. Goodness gracious, it's like, give me my bowl. So we have 8 of them. So the stack is growing. We have, let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 more in here. I don't know if that's enough. I'm going to have to count heads. So 8 and 9 is 17. I have to count heads and see if that's enough. I doubt it if I count the kids, because kids put stuff in microwaves too. Or they have, you could have something that the kids have, that's been heated and the kids need it too. So it just depends. How many cozies are you making right now? I got 17 cut out, so I'll probably cut out some more just in case, because if I have to, I'll do a head count. I can do a great head count at my daughter's baby shower because they'll be sitting right in front of me. But I can just go through family household and start counting, because I want everybody in the household to have one, so that, and they can decide if they want theirs to match. But if I was them, I would make sure that mine was different from everybody else's, so that way you'll know where yours is. I want a domestic pouch, so I will have a Teaquilts original. Okay, and I will be making those. What is Maria making payments on? She must be talking to Diane 57. The Molly says, it's 11:12 here in Michigan. I'm going to church early. Good night, everyone. That's what I'm finna get off of here. Tiffany says she's going to turn on a movie and lay back and lay down. So thanks, T, for sharing your beautiful scrap haul in the chat. I hope to catch you Wednesday. Good night, T, and everyone. Good night, Tiffany. Thank you so much. Jason says that cosmetic bag is such a good looking bag. Yes, it is a nice bag. And I got mine done. And I think with my changes, mine might be just a tad bit smaller than hers with my changes, because I put in thicker foam, thicker interfacing than what she used. She just used like the SF 101. And so mine's take up more room because it's puffier. So that's the only thing. And I think next time I already made me one. And it's like, am I going to make me another one and sell the one that I just made for myself? Because I think I want it a little bit bigger. So I am such an idiot. And I hate making that bag. Okay. That cost, that one. Diane saying good night, everybody. And Joe Carmel is saying good night, everybody. And Remo says, I agree. So, yeah. So, Remo, I add you to the list, girl. I just been adding people to a list in my head. And I do kind of know who want one, but, I need to write it down now, because I had the list almost done. And then my mom started a mess and wanted to be put on the list. Then 2 cousins wanted to be put on the list. And the list then I never did make a bag for my husband. He's not getting the cosmetic bag. He's just going to get the regular bag. But I was going to make sure, it was big enough to hold his stuff. So I never made his bag, but he's not going anywhere. So, yeah. Oh, and also I forgot to mention in October birthdays that my husband's birthday is, what's today? 15th, 16th, Tuesday. His birthday is the 18th. So that's pretty cool. I won't be putting, Liz, that won't be in the video, because that video has been recorded, and I didn't, I sold my bag. And so my stuff was living in a plastic bag, because my niece wanted my bag. I said, it doesn't even have plastic liner inside. She said, I don't care. I want the bag. And so I gave her the bag, and I was trying to sell it to her at a discount because it didn't have the liner on the inside. And she's like, I'm paying you regular price. People need to pay regular price for your stuff. So yeah, that was really nice of her. But that option won't be, because I think Christine talks about that you can make it larger, but I didn't realize that just putting in I made some with NR foam, and then I made some with soft and stable. And either one of those stabilizers, they're thicker. And so it takes up some space out of your bag. But they're still nice size. And Jason says, happy birthday, Mr. T. That's nice. Thank you, Jason. Zandra saying good night. So we're going to end here, guys. We'll come back Wednesday with live chat for an hour. I don't know what I'm going to do. I never know what I'm going to do on the chats until like really a half hour before, at least an hour. So you all take care, everybody. You all stay blessed. Be safe. And quilt out. Kayla, is your daughter having a baby? Yes, she is. She's due January. We're having her shower the first Sunday in November after church. Diane saying happy birthday too. Liz says, I saw her formula to make one larger. Is that all? Yeah. You just basically, you can add whatever you want, 1 inch, 2 inch, whatever size you want, but just know that it's going to be doubled when you make it. So, but double is good too. I'm just saying. That bag can always be bigger. Nobody has ever said this bag is too big. So, can I make a baby blanket as a thank you for picking me up? Yes, Kayla, you can do that. That'll be great. And she'll be surprised. That'll be cool. So, good night, everybody. Take care. You all stay safe.